Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakradunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurame Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvadam Ganganapate Namaha. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Sadguru Bhyo Namaha. Shri Paramaguru Bhyo Namaha. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 27th of January 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Paramatma, Bhagavan, residing in the heart of every single being. With that prarthana and bhavana, we are continuing, by the grace of God, to examine Vedanta, to examine Advaita Vedanta and many, many interconnected ideas. To continue from yesterday about the non-dual realization. Non-dual realization means the realization of the one that is the reality, as opposed to getting caught up within the plurality. See, we should be very clear about what is meant by Advaita. Advaita means the one that is actually there, that is the only thing that is there, as opposed to getting caught up in the diversity and plurality with the misperception that there is not one. This is called Advaita Vedanta. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, the different acharyas have described the same reality, the same truth in many different ways, based on realization. To clarify a bit further from yesterday's discussion about Advaita and the different other forms of Vedanta that have come about after Advaita, this has to do with the rishis that have their anubhav. I'm going to give you a small story here today. I'll share a small story, actual incident that happened 250 years ago in Gujarat, to understand this a bit more clearly, so that there isn't a misunderstanding and there's also a little bit better understanding about why the different acharyas have gone into more exposition on Advaita, like Ramanuj and others. So there's an incident of, as you know, of Bhagavan Shri SWAMINARAYAN, who is actually Sajanand Swami Maharaj. His guru was Ramanand Swami, and that Ramanand Swami's guru was Atmanand Swami. Now the situation with Atmanand Swami, who was a very enlightened saint, he was a yogi and Brahmanized saint, he would go into Samadhi. And this was the situation from thousands of years back with the ancient rishis until today also. This is there. He would go into Samadhi. Samadhi is a state where there is no more entanglement in Jagrat, Swapna, Shushupti Avastha, Sattva, Raj, Tam, physical, subtle, causal. All that is transcended. Right? So the 333. Physical, subtle, causal. Bodies are, you see beyond that. Beyond the 5 koshas. Anmay kosh, pranmay kosh, manomay kosh, vignanmay kosh, anandmay kosh. Beyond that. Beyond Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, waking, dream, deep sleep state. Beyond the 3 gunas of mind. This is beyond all of this. So when you go beyond all of this, this is called Turyam, the 4th state. So Atmanand Swami, he was completely purified from inside, completely enlightened. So go into the Samadhi, the chakras will open, and you go beyond the chakras are lit by this divine light. Divya Prakash, Chidghan. And that, it's just unending. I mean, there's just no end to that divinity. And then he will see that is also who I am. There's no body, then all the thing is left actually. That anubhav is there. And then when you come back into the body, into the sense, with the brain, mind, body, there is the remembrance of that anubhav. This happened to Ramakrishna Paramahansa also. After Totapuri, Guru Totapuri came to him, and then, he said that you will see the Devi, but then you need to go beyond that form into the Brahman. And that's what happened. So Ramakrishna Paramahansa would talk to the goddess. That is called Saguna Brahman in Advaita Vedanta. Saguna means with form, in this case. Watch this terminology carefully. But then Guru Totapuri said, you're still stuck inside that form. There's a reality. The actual reality is not that form. That form is also that reality. But there is a nirguna nirguna tattva, nirguna reality. Nirguna means without form. You see, for example, someone who's worshipping Krishna will see Krishna. Someone who's worshipping Jesus will see Jesus. Somebody who's worshipping Devi will see Devi. Somebody who's worshipping, let's say, you're worshipping Bhagwan Ram, so you will see Bhagwan Ram, right? Those are all things. Those are all approaches in bhakti. This is Advaita Vedanta now. But then eventually what Advaita Vedanta says, based on these historical experiences and the Rishi Parampara, that these experiences of the gods that you may have, in one sense, there is a great psychology behind it. Because you are worshipping that way, so that Parabrahma Tattva, that Bhagavat Tattva appears to you that way. We talked about this before with Tulsidas Ji. Jaisi Bhavana, Vaisi Murti Dikte. We talked about that before. Okay. So, what happens here is that at some point, if depending on realization, that Nirakar Brahman, Nirakar means without the names and forms of the plurality we see within Prakriti, that opens. And that is there. So there isn't a me that is experiencing that in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Maybe there's also stages in this. Because when you're approaching that Brahman, you see the Brahman and you also see the Jagat. You see yourself, the body, mind, senses on one side, and the Prakriti on one side, and the other, and then the Brahman. So this is called Savikalpa. Savikalpa Sthiti isko kehte. So when a yogi, bhakta goes further, he gets a glimpse of that. My God, what is this divine light, this divinity? It's like you're seeing that divinity, but you're still within the framework of the body, mind, senses, etc. That is beginning to open up. That is called Savikalpa. Sa-vikalpa. Sa means with, vikalpa meaning this and this. But nirvikalpa means without this and this, only that. That is called nirvikalpa. So in that state of nirvikalpa, the mind, body, and everything they become silent. The person is not living within that limited framework anymore. And there's no person as such. There's the Atma Tattva that is shining in its own glory. And it is the same as the Brahma Tattva. So it is one. The drop becomes the ocean. The drop goes into the ocean. The barrier is gone. The example of the clay pot, sealed clay pot with water inside the ocean. And the pot breaks. That's the analogy. The pot breaks, the water is. Now once the pot is broken, where is that water now anymore that was inside? You cannot find that water anymore. It's all only the ocean. Aham Brahmasmi. Krishna Dasosmi, Aham Brahmasmi. That's all it is. That's what it is. But nonetheless, as long as there is a body, and the body is not left aside, the yogi, I'll just say yogi, or jo bahut paramans ke level ke jo bhakt hai, like Atmanand Swami, they come back into the body. And this is what happened with Ramakrishna Paramans. He also would come back into the body, and he's again worshipping Devi. He sees the Nirakara Brahman, he comes back into the body, and he's worshipping the goddess Kali. Why is he doing that? Very interesting. Because when the body is there, when the senses, brain, body, there's going to be activity. But the great enlightened beings, they perform activity, including Naradji, for example, they perform activity through the body senses that is all devotional activity. Because if you don't perform the devotional activity, the one will perform activity that is bound inside Maya. You see this very carefully. The yogis who come out of samadhi and they come back into the sansar, it could be anybody, but it doesn't matter. They perform devotional activity. And if they don't perform devotional activity, there are some cases, no doubt, who are not doing any devotional, because they are in Purna Vairagya and Jnana, and they're still one with the whole Brahman, and they see the entire sansar as Brahman. So they're still in Advaitic state, yet the body is just living itself out. वो भी एक स्थिति है. गुरु दत्तात्रेय जी की ऐसी स्थिति थी. You see this point. पर नारद जी की स्थिति कैसी है? वो भक्ति करते हैं. नारायण नारायण श्रीमन नारायण. दोनों अद्भुत है. You cannot say, that one is lower. We have no authority to say anything like that. हमारी ऐसी कोई स्थिति नहीं, हम जज भी कर सकते इस बात को. इस बहुत ऊपर, it's a topmost बात है ये सब. So let's go back here. When the Nirvikalpa Samadhi comes about, please remember, Nirvikalpa Samadhi means that the Sahasrara Chakra has opened. और Sahasrara Chakra जब open होता है, that's 1,000-petal lotus. And there's an absolute infinite Brahman shining in all directions. So the Advaitic texts, whether it is Vivek Chudamani, Ashtavakra Gita, if you go on YouTube, you'll see great saint, Swami Sarvapriyanandaji, who's very famous now in Advaita Vedanta. He speaks only about that, how to reach that Advaitic state. That is his entire perspective, basically. He knows about, he's talked about bhakti and other things also, but he's an Advaitic scholar and practitioner, and he must has his own realization too in that. Swami Chinmayananji, another example. Then Aurobindo, another example. Almost, I would say, 80 to 90% of Santa Parampara, including Gnaneshwar Maharaj in Gnaneshwari. And if you look at most, 80 to 90% even, of Santa Parampara from 10,000 years back is talking about this Advaitic realization. It's only 10 to 20% of the sampradayas that are saying there is something beyond that Advaitic realization. And that's what I want to talk to you about now. What possibly can that be? So this is very interesting. So what happened in the case of Atmanand Swami? Atmanand Swami was an enlightened being. Usko Brahma ka darshan hota tha. He used to come back into the body. His shishya was Ramanand Swami. Ramanand Swami ko bhi wo darshan kiya unhone. But Ramanand Swami said, no, I want to see the Lord. I want to see, mujhko Bhagwan dekhna hai. I don't want to, this is fine, ये जो ब्रह्म दर्शन है, पर भगवान की जो मूर्ति है, where this divinity, this infinite consciousness has also some origin. So Atmanand Swami said, no, you're wrong about that. That is not the case. There's nothing beyond this. How can there be anything beyond the transcendental infinite reality? Think about this. See this point. The rishis also said this. Neti, neti. Upanishad says neti, neti. Neti means no end, no end, no end. Look at the scripture Yoga Vashishta. This says the same thing. That within, that this Brahman is unending. Billions of universes are atomic. Infinite Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and so many different Ishwaras are. Ananda Ishwar Koti hai. Ye, within Brahman. So what are you saying, that there is something even beyond this Brahman? There cannot be anything beyond this Brahman. What nonsense. Ramanand Swami said, no, this is not satisfying for me. Think about this. This is the actual history. So then Ramanand Swami left his guru. He was in Gujarat at that time. He left the guru, went to South India and went to Sri Ranga Kshetra. Sri Ranga Kshetra mein wo gaye. And there's the murti of Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya is Vishishtadvaita. He's written the Bhasyam on the Vishishtadvaita, and he is the one who gave many mantras, from that. So Ramanand Swami said, no, I want to see Narayana. This light and this consciousness you're talking of, this is there, it is there, but I'm not satisfied with that. See, this is another interesting thing, jo bhakta hai, They do not, they are not satisfied with this thing. They want to be with the Lord. It's very interesting. All this about. So he sat in front of the Murti of Ramanujacharya. Unka dhyan kiya. You bless me and you show me who that Narayana. What is this? Who is what? Not just this life. Because Ramanujacharya's teaching is like that. So then, after many months of sadhana, this Ramanand Swami at nighttime, the Ramanujacharya appears to him after many months of sadhana. And he gives him Diksha at nighttime. And all of the different Sri Vaishnava chinna, with the Urdhva Pundra Tilak on the chest, on the arms, in different places in the body, they are all placed on the body. And Ramanujacharya gives him 2 mantras, Om Namo Narayanaya and Sri Krishnam Tvam Gatir Mama. This is called Ashtakshara mantra. And that is in the Swaminarayan Shikshapatri, even today it is there. That mantra that Ramanujacharya gave, because it's Swaminarayan ki baat, it goes back to Ramanujacharya. This is the link, actually. People don't know all this thing, mostly. So, Maharaj meaning Bhagwan Swaminarayan, Shriji Maharaj, unke jo guru the was Ramanand Swami. Ramanand Swami was given Diksha in the dream by Ramanujacharya and given these mantras. Then he started to speak the Krishna mantra. Sri Krishnam Tvam Gatir Mama, Sri Krishnam Tvam Gatir Mama, and Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya. And from the Diksha that was given by Ramanujacharya, he would sit for dhyan of Narayana. And of course, that light is that light is everywhere. Again, this word light is not the right word actually, but it is consciousness. But unko anubhav ho gaya Vaikuntha Dham ka, or Vaikuntha Dham opened up, and Lakshmi and Narayan opened. Actually, they gave darshan. See, this is the point of Diksha. This is the point of which path in which Guru one has. One can only go to that point to the extent that one has realized based on the kind of knowledge, sadhana, and the Guru Parampara. Why we say Guru Parampara? Because Guru Parampara, if it is bona fide, if it is genuine, it has to do with the anubhav of the original teachers that has been transmitted in Parampara, which they are trying to recreate for the Shishyas. And when that has been established that way, that is called Sampradaya. That is what is called Sampradaya. Even Christianity, what is Christianity? It is Guru Parampara. Whole Judaism, what is Guru? Sab Guru Parampara hi hai. Sikhism, what is that? Wo to puri Guru Parampara hai. Sanatan Dharma, total Guru Parampara. Everywhere there is Guru Parampara. Why? Because of this reason. Because what is the kind of realization? What is the level of realization? The type of realization? And then the recreation of that realization in the lives of the Shishyas. And the path to recreate that realization, or to open that doorway into that dimension, that doorway is called Sampradaya. Sampradaya doesn't mean groupism and device. These things are just poisonous words. That's all it is. It's a poison. This groupism and me versus you. And there's no chance of realizing anything in that as long as those things are there. That's not what the meaning of this word Sampradaya means. People have misunderstood. They are paths, they are doorways to open the dimension, spiritual dimension, in different ways. There has nothing to do with any kind of divisiveness, that me versus you versus this versus that. All that nonsense has to completely go. Until then, there's never even going to be a glimpse of the Brahman. Possible hi nahi hai. It is an illusion of spirituality, not the actual realization of the Brahma Tattva. There's no chance. Casteism, groupism, sexism, thisism, sub-ism, take them and throw them away. All those isms. There's no ism. This is a Western word that has been created to put boundaries around. Is totally wrong. It has nothing to do with the Sanatan Dharma. In Sanatan Dharma, even we use that doesn't mean any boundary of any kind, that we are Hindus and this is all has to go. It has to completely go. And if it doesn't go, there's kabhi bhi, in Gujarati we say, Brahmani jhaki pan nahi thai. You will not even get a glimpse of the Brahman. Forget about anything else. As long as Sachin thinks I'm an Indian, I am this, I am that, I am rich, I am poor, there's no chance of Brahma Vidya. There's not even the slightest chance. It is a massive block of ahankar and ignorance and harmful conditioning and divisive conditioning. Gyan Vairagya to aga, where it will come? Impossible. So this has to go. And once it goes, then the preparation is there for Brahma Prakash. But even in that, this is where the glory of Sanatan Dharma, usme bhi sab Bhagwan ke jo dham hai, kya baat hai? That's extraordinary things are there. So in this case, what happened with Ramanand Swami, unko Lakshmi Narayan Bhagwan ka darshan hua. Then he went to Vrindavan and chanted the Krishna mantra because he was given the Diksha and he was a genuine seeker and he wanted the darshan of those abodes and of the Lord. So then Bhagwan Krishna appeared in front of him. Unko Golok ka darshan hua. And then he went back to his guru, that original guru, Atmanand Swami. He said, Guru Maharaj, what you are saying is correct and what you have, this realization of Brahman is there, but there is also the abode of God. There is Bhagwan Sakar bhi hai. So then through that Atmanand Swami, from his own Shishya, he realized that there is the Sakar Paramatma. And then he also became a devotee of Sri Krishna. And then he also realized beyond that light, beyond that Chidghan Brahma Prakash, Atmanand Swami. This is the story. And then it's a long story. I won't go into, there's a lot of history behind this. But what does this show? It shows that the level of realization, it varies. It's not the same. I mean, it's the same truth. Ekam sad vipraha bahuda vadanti. But there is even greater enunciation of that truth in various ways. There's great. I mean, just like what we have here in the material world, we have the planet Earth, and we have Jupiter, and we have Saturn, and we have the sun, and we have our sun is a small sun compared to some other suns that are massive, right? There are also gradations like this in the spiritual world. That is available for those who have transcended this ahankar, who have completely gone beyond the boundaries of the sansar. Then it is available. Like Prabhupada Ji's guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, wrote, he was a great brahmachari and wrote the commentary on the Brahma Sahita. Bahut bade sant the wo, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Okay? So this is, I took a little extra time here, but wanted to clarify this a little bit because it can get confusing. Ye sab kya hai? Why the different acharyas are saying this? Why different texts are... It's nothing different. It's only one. But it is also, there is great diversity in the spiritual world also. And that is something beyond our understanding. But वो एक स्थिति की बात है, बहुत ऊपर level के जो संत हैं उनकी बात है. And we can also reach that. It's not that we cannot, but we have to go beyond all of the limitations that are binding us from inside. So this is a little थोड़ी ऊपर level की बात आज हो गई, but I wanted to just clarify this and then we'll continue further. Om Dhyanamoolam Gurur Murti Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Pujamulam Gurur Padam Mokshamulam Gurur Kripa. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche Swaha. Om Durge Rakshini Tata Swaha. Om Shri Durga Arpanamastu. Om Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Rim Swaha.